Greetings, class, and welcome to Wednesday, April the 8th. And this is an announcement video. And you notice I'm in the exam number 3 module. And so in this announcement video, I want to talk about a couple of things, and specifically about exam number 3, address some concerns that I've heard, and talk about how I'm going to move forward with this with exam number 3 and my grading and how I'm going to approach it. So number one, I want to mention we're in a place where we did not figure we would be. We did not anticipate we would be in an online environment when we started back in January. We didn't think we would be taking tests online. And typically, when I prepare a test, what I do is prepare 2 or 3 versions of the test and basically hand those out so two people don't have exactly the same exam. However, in an online environment, it's not that simple. It's not that direct in preparing for that kind of test. So, as a faculty in the accounting department, we have created an exam over chapters 8, 9, 10, and 11 that brings together questions from each of those chapters and pulls those into the exam. And then as you go through the exam, each of you will have different exams. I mean, it's going to change each time you take it. So, for no two people are going to have exactly the same exam. So, in this environment, what I guess I'm saying is we looked at the questions, or I did. I looked at the questions in chapters 8, 9, 10, and 11 that are in the exam, and I only included those questions where we covered some of that content throughout the course of the class. Now, it will still pull from that group of questions from that chapter, but the exams will be different and the questions will be different when you take it. Now, because of that, I'm going to go back through the exam and regrade every exam. I'm going to look at what you've done, and I've heard some questions or concerns about the difficulty of the exam. I've heard some questions and concerns about the way we're taking the exam. So let me just say, when we move from a familiar setting to an unfamiliar setting, it's a little intimidating and daunting. And because we're using the Respondus lockdown browser and monitor, it may be a lot more uncomfortable for you. I understand those things. And because we are where we are, I'm going to go back through each exam and look at that exam. I'm going to curve the exam grades. I'm going to look at um, factors that have caused this to be an unusual situation. So I guess what I'm saying is you may not do as well in the exam as you'd hoped, but what I want to do is encourage you that I'm going to go back through these exams, regrade them, and consider all these factors when I look at those. So I want you to um, do your very best on the exam, but I also don't want you to be overly concerned if you get a grade that you're not exactly happy with. I want you to know that I'm going to go back through and look at all of those. So I wanted to address that up front. I wanted to tell you that yes, I know this was a difficult situation, and I know that maybe this is not exactly best um, how best we perform in this class. I know how we do when we're together. We can't do that anymore, but or at least not for this semester. But I want you to know that I'm going to go back through and look at these exam grades, and I will. I can tell you that there will be adjustments made, and I just want you to know that. So I want you to again take the exam, do well as you can, but I want you to understand what my approach to it is. And then I want to mention that we have a couple of assignments coming up on Friday. One is the chapter 10 and 11 homework due on April 10th at midnight, and the other one is this discussion that's up here that I've added on Monday. Now, I didn't want to get too far into talking about the discussion earlier, but again, the discussion is this week is 3 questions in there. I ask you um, to reflect on, and I want you to just basically post a short response to those and then respond to one other classmate. So that is really it for the announcement video today. Also, I will be posting some content material that's a beginning of a lecture for chapter 12. But we'll address more of that on Friday in a lecture. And if you have any questions in the meantime, if you have any concerns about the Respondus Lockdown browser and monitor, if you have any concerns about the test, I want you to feel free to ask me your questions. But like I said, I'm going to go back through these exams and I'm going to look at those and I will make adjustments. So just bear with me as we work through this part of the course. And I wish you well. I want you to take care and be healthy.